Okay. I would have to see the setup of apartment. Most apartments that are multi-storied would have a balcony. Others have a back porch area or small little grassy area that they could use as gardening. I mean, my daughter lives in an apartment and she has a very, very nice garden. Um, People that have their beds set up, if if you're not sitting on a platform and it's a regular bed stand, all that area underneath that bed is just collecting dust bunnies. You can buy these plastic trays, put canned goods in them, put bottled waters in them. You can slide a whole case of bottled water under there. One side could be all cases of water, the other side could be all plastic bins with canned goods and such in them, and spices, salsas, different things of that nature that you can utilize. I mean, there's always space, and a lot of them have some sort of a storage closet, especially if you have an upstairs. The area behind the staircase is always open, and you could put a little small 5 shelf or 4 shelf thing in there and use that to create a extra food storage area. And if you're not worried about having your place look like Better Homes and Gardens, in your master bedrooms or in your bedrooms where you got extra room, you could put a metal stand right there against the wall. Nobody's supposed to be in your bedroom anyway, and you can have it stocked up with cases of water and food, dry goods, different types of honeys, all kinds of different things. You could have each shelf dedicated. The bottom shelf could be water. Second shelf could be over-the-counter medicines and supplements, and then from there up to the fifth shelf could be different food products. I mean, my daughter has that in her apartment because I bought it for her, and I said, "You're not going to let nobody in your bedroom, so who cares?" I mean, it might be an eyesore to look at, but when the chips are down and you got that spare food there that might get you through 2 or 3 months, man, you can't beat that for nothing. I mean, forget trying to be fashionable. Just be practical, you know. But that's the way I would do it. I mean, any area. I mean, any area that's small. Uh, I know one lady, and her husband didn't support her being a prepper. So in their basement, she had to hide the stuff because he didn't want to see it. And then when
Mm.
he'd go walk the dog, he'd walk the dog for a half an hour or so. And she's in there taking the hollow core doors off the hinges, and she's prying open one side and sticking Lipton tea and uh, Lipton cup of soups and things inside the door, and then finishing nails in it to nail it back shut, and then rehanging the doors because he didn't want to see the preps. Uh, it just unnerved him. So he would take extra long walks, and anywhere that there was a cubby that she could store something, she was doing it. I mean, you got a dresser. Do you have it up against the wall, or can you slide it out about 3 or 4 inches and stack goods behind it? People won't see it. And, you just got to utilize every bit of space you got. The bottom of your closets, you can stack buckets too high and still have room to hang your clothing. So, those things have to be taken in consideration. But I'd have to personally see the setup of their apartment to be able to give them recommendations of what they could do. I mean, that's part of what we have set up with Refuge Depot, where people can get in touch with us and have us come out to consult with them, where we are willing to do that to help people get things set up. So, they should keep that in mind that we can come to your house and do personal consultations.
Well, I
But
said I
I'll
thought the
stop there.
reason I brought it up, I thought was a good question because, as you said, all those are things that you think of, and I think of, and maybe Brother Steve, far as the usage of space. But that just shows you how the average person, they're not looking at what's in front of them for everything that can be. So that's why
Right.
when you brought to my attention, I thought it was a great question because
Hmm.
that's probably something nobody would just ever ask, and so it gives somebody just a now people hearing that just that little bit might say, "Huh, okay, yeah, I can utilize this space, or I
Yeah.
can
I
Hmm.
do
mean,
this."
just like right now, I'm looking in my living room. where my TV is, it's not flush against the wall. It's caddy corner going across the corner. Now, that dead space behind it can be a storage area that I can stack and start stacking up buckets or containers with food in it. No, any dead space that you're not going to utilize becomes a reserve.
Yeah.
And,
And
and,
like you say, like you were saying, with your bed, even if your bed may be like on the ground, you have to, like you were saying, think outside the box. Get you something to elevate the bed where you can put some things up under the bed and then have a little cover draping it so nobody sees it, you know. But like you're saying, these are some of the things um, that are definitely good to think outside the box and to begin to think of ways to store survival material in your apartment. And like we were saying, also think of vertical gardens. Just because you live in an apartment doesn't mean that you can't grow food. You can have vertical gardens within your apartment. And in this winter, you might also want to think, just in case the power goes out, of designating a room to be a micro environment, to where you a nice little my buddy heater or any type of heater, in there. But of course, you'll probably need something if the power goes out that's going to operate off of some type of alternative power, which I think the best alternative way to heat your room would be through the propane, like a propane heater. My buddy, they have a propane heaters that you can actually run in your home without uh, the fear of being asphyxiated. Any other type of propane heater, you definitely want to be read the instructions and make sure that you're properly ventilated. But those are some great suggestions and a great question right there.
let
Let's
me
see.
let me ask this question to you, brother Steve. I know the answer, but I want to ask it out loud for people who may
Yeah.
be watching or listening who don't understand. Tell
Mm.
them what a vertical garden is.
Yes. Okay. A vertical garden is, and I wish I had some of those plants. All right. So a vertical garden is, you have your regular a vase, or do you say vase or vase, right? But these are three and they're connected, and you cat a corner each of one of them, and that's, you can line them up on the wall, and you can, each one of them can have, herbs in one uh vertical garden, and then another one you can have grow you some beans or some tomatoes. And of course, you definitely want to have it where it gets plenty of sunlight. So you want to put it in a room where it gets plenty of sunlight. And yeah, there you go. You got a vertical garden right there in your home. You also can have a tent, a grow
Like a
tent
mini,
in a room where
yeah,
you can grow food
like a mini
in your
greenhouse,
home.
right?
Yeah, mini greenhouse right there in your in one of your rooms. And the thing about it is that, those mini tents can look beautiful, actually. They can really look nice. So those are some of the things that definitely people want to look into as far as being in an apartment. Yeah, it's